So students, next topic is Hooke's law, which is very simple law, right? Hooke's law gives relation between stress and strain. Hooke's law gives us the relationship between stress and strain. Now what do you mean by stress and strain? That we have already studied in previous lecture in detail with different types, right? Let me remind you. Stress, which is given by restoring force per unit area, is known as stress. Restoring force per unit area is known as stress, and equation of stress is F by A, right? Equation of stress is F by A, and unit of stress is Newton per meter square, right? And now strain, which is given by the ratio of change in dimension to original dimension, right? And strain is given by the ratio of change in dimension to original dimension, and it is unitless quantity, right? Strain is unitless quantity. So in Hooke's law, it gives the relationship between stress and strain, but it follow certain material or most of the material follows the Hooke's law, but it has some limitation. For small deformation, stress is directly proportional to strain. For small deformation, stress is directly proportional to strain. Now, stress, which is directly proportional to strain, and if we remove this proportionality, stress equal to K into strain, right? Stress equal to K into strain, where K is the constant of proportionality, where K is the constant of proportionality, or we can say modulus of elasticity. We can also say K, which is equal to modulus of elasticity, and the value of K and the value of modulus of elasticity depends on material, right? The value of K, or you can say the value of modulus of elasticity, is depends on material. Different material have different value of modulus of elasticity, right? So here the value of K is directly depends on the material. Okay. Generally, most of the materials follows Hooke's law, right? Generally, most of the material follows the Hooke's law, but there is some material which does not follow the Hooke's law, right? So this is the basic of Hooke's law that gives the relationship between stress and strain. And important thing is the constant K, right? So constant K, which is depends on the different material and which is also known as modulus of elasticity, right? So this is the basics of Hooke's law. Hello my dear students, today we will start the new theory which is stress and strain curve. Here it is stress and strain curve. X-axis represent strain and y-axis represent strain, and this typical stress strain curve for metal. And here in this curve we can see the different points on the curve: point A, point B, point C, point D and point E. There are different points on the curve. Here we are discussing this curve, or you can say these points in detail, right? The first curve is curve OA, right? So let's start curve OA. Now here from the curve we can see this curve OA is the linear curve. Now what do you mean by linear curve? Means stress is proportional to strain. Stress is proportional to strain. So in curve OA, stress is proportional to strain. Now what do you mean by if stress and strain both are in proportional nature? It follows Hooke's law. Obviously, if the stress is proportional to strain, it follows Hooke's law. In Hooke's law, we have already discussed stress is proportional to strain and stress equal to K into strain, where K is the constant of proportionality, which is also known as modulus of elasticity, and it depends on different materials, right? So obviously curve OA follows Hooke's law, right? And when body will regain its original dimension when applied force is removed. The body will regain its original dimension when applied force is removed. Up to point A, if the applied force is removed, it will regain its original dimension, right? And this body is known as elastic body. This body is known as elastic body. Why it is known as elastic body? Because by removing the force, it will regain its original dimension. That's why this body is known as elastic body. So this is for curve OA. Now let's discuss curve AB. Curve AB, right? So here in curve AB we can see stress is not proportional to strain. In curve AB we can see stress is not proportional to strain. So here stress is not proportional to strain, but still, nevertheless, when applied force is removed, body regain its original dimension. So at point B, let's consider point B. At point B, if we have removed the force, the body will regain its original dimension. So what is the difference between curve OA and curve OB? So curve OA follows the Hooke's law, stress is proportional to strain, but in curve AB, stress is not proportional to strain. It does not follow Hooke's law. So here point A is known as proportional limit, and point B is known as yield point. Point A is known as proportional limit and point B is known as yield point. Right? So the value of stress at point B, is known as value of stress sigma y at point B is known as yield strength of body. The value of stress sigma y at point B is known as yield strength of the body. So this is for curve AB. Now what will happen if we have further increased the load after point B? Now what will happen if we have further increased load after point B? Further increased load, we can also say the further increase in force, we can also say further increase in stress. If load is further increased, stress is increased, crossing yield point. If the stress is further increased after point B, what will happen? The value of stress is further increased, it crosses the yield point, and if it crosses the yield point, strain increases rapidly. We can see here from B to C, strain is increased rapidly by we have only this much of value of stress, right? So and when load is removed after point B, let's say consider at point C. I am repeating this sentence again. When load is removed, but when after point B, and let's say consider point C, then body will not regain its original dimension. Body will not regain its original dimension if load is removed, and this we can say body is in permanent set. We can say body is in permanent set at point C. So this is known as permanent, this portion is known as permanent set. At point C we have removed the force, but body will not regain its original position, right? So here this region is known as permanent set, and at point D, this point, we can say the value of stress sigma u at point D, the value of stress sigma u at point D is known as ultimate tensile strength. Ultimate tensile strength. So this point would be the point of ultimate tensile strength. This point would be the point of ultimate tensile strength, and the value of stress at point D is known as ultimate tensile strength, right? So here at what will happen after D? Here we have discussed till point D. Now what will happen in the region of D to E, in the curve of D to E? What will happen? Here we can see after point D, the value of stress is going to be decreased, but the value of strain is increased by applying reduced stress, strain is going to be increased further, and strain is going to be increased further, and at point E body will break. At point E body will break, and this point is known as fracture point. This point is known as fracture point, right? So here at point T, this point is known as fracture point, and this point we have considered as point of ultimate tensile strength. Now at point of ultimate tensile strength, if point of ultimate tensile strength, here point D and point E, here we have two different types of material according to the position of point D and E, right? So if the ultimate tensile strength and means D and point of fracture point and fracture point E are closer to each other, the material in which the point of ultimate tensile strength D and fracture point E are closer to each other, that material is known as brittle material. That material is known as brittle material. And if D and E are apart, if D and E are apart, then that material is known as ductile material, and that material is known as ductile material. We have two different materials. One is rubber and another one is tissue of aorta. Tissue of aorta present in heart. Here we have considered this is the types of material in which the ultimate tensile strength D and the fracture point E are closer. If D and E are closer, then this material is known as brittle material, and if the point D and E are far away, means there is a distance between D and E, this material is known as ductile material, right? And in case of rubber or in case of tissue of aorta, which is present in heart, that have long plastic region, and it does not contain it has long elastic region and it does not contain plastic region. So this material is also known as elastomer. This material is also known as elastomer, that having a large value of strain, right? So here we have discussed the stress and strain curve, which is very important, right? So in this curve we have discussed all the different points, right? What will happen, at which point the Hooke's law is applicable, right? So in next lecture we will see the different theory.